Well, with me now is Michael Leather, who's standing in Onchan, and we've got 10 minutes to talk to him about what you're going to do. Interesting, I've been looking through you've got some very interesting ideas. I won't come to that in a minute, but you're retired. You want to stand for this. You have got no background in politics as such. So why motivate you now to do this?
Well, my background is tourism and construction in the building trade. Mm-hmm. So basically, the tourism has declined to a stage where it's not really worth worrying about. So we need to either get on with it and get the government to make a commitment, or we're just going to carry on with another 5 years of nothing happening.
Well, as I said, you've got some interesting things, mostly to do with Douglas. I mean, you're in Onchan, but you obviously, being the hotels and that sort of infrastructure, well, you've got some great plans for the Promenade. I mean, without going to crazy details, but I mean, just want to give us an outline of the sort of thing you're suggesting.
They all sound crazy until you actually sit down and go through it, which takes a long while. Yeah. I spent over 2 years going through all this. I was fortunate enough to take a master's degree in Liverpool University, and I had access to all their database and the database in the Isle of Man, and we could see that we're just, at the moment, we're just going nowhere. There's no entertainment. The facilities regarding going across are depreciating. We've lost the flight to Dublin. Heathrow's just announcing something. So we've got one boat which is going to Liverpool. Even that is going to cost a lot of money for the docking.
But you want to bring more people here and have great plans, as I said, for the Promenade. You want to extend out.
What I want to do is when at the moment there's two obvious things. One is we have a serious car parking problem. Whether you live in Onchan or wherever you go to Douglas, you can't park. Secondly, the seawall is old and it's not high enough. It's been brought in by experts to say that in the end of this century that the sea will probably rise about 16 feet. So at that time, we need to be ready to prepare for these things. At the moment, we need a new seawall. So rather than just to build a seawall and have no income coming back from that, what my proposal is to take the seawall 200 meters out. So then you have two retaining, obviously, walls to match in. Mm-hmm. And then we, from that, we have 200,000 square meters, which is 49.5 acres of land. With that, you can do an awful lot because it would be prime land.
A lot of work, a lot of money. How would you fund this? How would the government fund this?
Right, well, and the issues and options which the government had, they had it down that 100 metres of sea wall would cost approximately £1.5 million. This would obviously be more because the sea wall has to be built in reality for future proofing. Once that's built, then it's very similar to an estate agent, because rather than fill in the wall in the void, you make two levels. And what we can do is we can raise the levels, because we're going to have to raise for the sea. So the sea wall is going to be higher, and the two levels will make it into two valuable areas.
Okay.
The bottom one would be predominantly for parking. The next one up above could be for anything as regards you can have shopping.
I have to move you on a bit, because you also want cruise liners in. You also want a mega casino. I mean, these are things coming left, right, centre here. I mean, again, cruise lines, that will be a lot of money required. We will already know that, don't we, to make a landing stage for them.
Well, first of all, regarding the casino, the government has got allowance for one extra casino.
Well, there's one here already, so
Sorry?
There is already one here, isn't there?
Yes, but we're allowed to.
You're allowed to, but no one's taken up the options so far, have they? On number two?
I mean, obviously, we go through things, but there is a provision for another casino. As regards the cruise ships, in 2012, they had 12 cruise ships came into the island, visit the island. They couldn't dock. They had to stay in the middle of the bay. Mm-hmm. While they were in the middle of the bay, they had to come over on tenders. So depending how choppy the sea was, depends how people were travelling. From that, the government got £60,000 direct into the treasury, and it was estimated £450,000 was spent on the island. The following year, 2013, we had 18 cruise ships, so pro rata, you're looking at nearly £100,000 direct to the treasury. Yeah. £750,000 was spent on the thing. In 2018, the government seemed to wake up and say, right, well, we must be able to accommodate these people, so let's get a pier that will work. They decided that the Victoria Pier on the outer side and extend it to the requirements of the cruise ships. In the end, they all decided, yes, we'll do this, it's a go-ahead, date to be decided. That date is still being decided.
Again, quite a lot of money required for this. You need to, if you got into House of Keys, you'll need to obviously take a lot of people with you to get that sort of thing passed, wouldn't you? I mean,
well, all my schemes, all the ideas,
you've costed them,
are different to what has been done with government previously. My ideas are where you spend money, you're going to get a perpetual income.
Okay, this all seems like things happening in Douglas. What about Onchan, where you're standing? What do you want to see, or what's the feedback on the doorsteps? What's the big stories in Onchan?
Well, in Onchan at the moment, people are very upset with regards to the state of the roads. They're also very upset with where the little pitch and putt area is, and they have the monument there. It was all lovely when the monument was put in, but now we're looking at quite a number of years back. Nothing has been done regard to the front, and it all looks like a mess. It needs tidying up and cleaning up, and nothing has been done for them.
What's making you stand now? I mean, you're obviously not enamoured of who's the incumbent to MHKs there, or do you think they've done a good enough job, or what? What's made you stand?
Well, if I thought they'd done a good job, I wouldn't be standing.
Right. And government-wise, how do you think they've done? Is that the lockdowns and those sort of things?
Well, government's promising all sorts, and we're going to do this, and we're going to spend millions on that, and where's this money coming from?
Well, that's what I keep asking you about. What you want to do?
The money's going to come from the tourism.
Yeah, but we need it's a chicken and egg thing, isn't it? You said we've got less flights going, places, people coming in. All that
it's not something that's going to be done overnight. No. I mean, to build the thing I'm proposing, you're looking at least 5 years. So once that's there and once it's built. I mean, if you go back into history, the Loch Prom was a beach, and the sea wall was at the back of W.H. Smith's. Yeah. So when they did from W.H. Smith's to the roadside of the Marine Gardens, Henry Locke, it cost them a lot of money. He recouped that money by selling the property to developers. Indeed. And the developers built the hotels and things that were there.
Where would you fit in government? I'm guessing DOI then, or something like that. Would you like to see yourself?
I can fit anywhere.
But where would you like to go if you offered to join?
Well, I mean, obviously tourism.
Yes. Department for Enterprise.
At the moment, there's no foresight there. So I mean, you need foresight. You need commitments. If the government is not going to commit into various infrastructure, how can they expect private enterprise to do it?
And are you on the lockdown and opening up of the borders and that sort of thing? Where we are today at the minute?
Well,
for it, against it?
Again, I would personally like to see masks, people wearing masks, for the simple reason that it's a diffuser. It's not to protect the person wearing the mask, it's to protect the other people and the environment.
Are you open for being open then? Or where we are at the moment, are you on board with how we are, I mean, besides the masks?
Nothing's set in stone. I mean, before I make decisions on anything, I need to look at the facts. Mm-hmm. And I haven't got all the facts, so therefore it's difficult to comment.
Who would you want to, as the Chief Minister for the next government? Who would you be voting for if you got in?
Well, again, I want to look at what he's done, the things he's proposed, what he's done, what he's been against. At the moment, I haven't got the full facts.
How do you get the full facts? Just by listening to them do the hustings sort of thing?
Once you go in,
you've got to make your mind up in about 4 weeks, haven't you? You've got to get on with it.
You get access to data, don't you?
Well, you get a hustings. I don't know if you get any more data than that from anyone. So you're not going to plump with anyone.
At the moment, I've got an open mind.
And if you don't get in, would you be studying again? Do you see this as something you'll be putting your mind to keep?
I'm not
keep
sure.
out?
I mean, the thing is that I think it's just a question of wait and see. But if you look again with tourism, I mean, Blackpool, for instance, they had a £300 million grant from the EU. They spent it wisely, and then, of course, like everything else, all the private enterprise moved in. Last 2019, they had 18 million tourists, bringing 1.5 billion to the economy.